What is up, Twitch and YouTube? How are we this evening? I made some progress last stream. Um, getting a window with some text to render and had a lot of fun doing it. We got dynamic word wrapping based on per words in the sentences. We get to scroll as well, I believe. Right? We've got scrolling. But there's a problem. This is going to take a lot of work. This is just rendering some text, and that took like a 3.5, 5 hour stream, something ridiculous like that. And I want to be able to like treat this like an actual chat window where I can enter messages, see messages come in. So there's a lot of work ahead of us. And so I've been thinking, I don't know. I guess it all depends on where the interests of those who pop in to say hi, where those interests lie. I could spend a lot of time getting text to render and to word wrap, or I could spend my time building an application, getting it up and running, and kind of showing how I approach things, uh, professionally speaking. And so I'm kind of stuck because I could keep pounding my head against this, and we would get something working. It might be a little jank just because of the limited amount of time I'm spending on this, but we could probably get something to work, right? And now I'm wondering if it would be easier to do this with the Qt framework. QtQuick, QML, all that fun stuff, scripting, JavaScript. I don't know. And because I don't have a massive audience yet, I think I have a little bit of flexibility to kind of do what I want. And if people pop in and want to see me work on some C++, they will get to. So I think for this evening, I'm going to take what I've done here and see if I can do the same thing, but using QtQuick QML. But there's a problem. I don't have QtQuick installed. So I've got to get all that set up. So then the question becomes, how in the world do we do that? And I think the answer is, of course, a package manager like VC Package. But I need to figure out what version of Qt is in the package manager. I'm pretty sure it's 6.10 because if I look in issues and search Qt, there's probably a ticket to integrate 6.11. Yeah, it's right here. Okay. That's fine though. I should be able to do this with 6.10 just fine. But the problem now is I need to get it. So to get it, I think what I want to do, actually, let me pull that back up. I think I can create a branch and call this the Qt branch, if you will. And in the Qt branch, we don't need our GUI implementation here because we will be using Qt. But maybe I keep it around in case I want AI to have some context on what I was trying to do, because it might be easier to be able to, like, once I get Qt up and running, be like, hey, do this thing. So before I implement the package manager to pull down Qt, we need to do a couple of things. I have some custom configuration that I've done a couple of years ago that reduces the amount of Qt dependencies we have to install to make this a little easier and quicker to compile. I think is it this? Might be this. So I'm going to copy this. What did I copy? Paste this. So we're going to install the Qt base without any default features for the host system. So whatever system we're going to be compiling with, so that could be Windows, Linux, etc. No dependencies. Then we're going to say we need PNG and OpenGL for our dependencies by default, but nothing else. Then we're going to say on Linux, we want X11. On Android, we want GLES version 2. And then for web, we also want GLES version 2. So that's what this is saying. So I think then the next step is to hit the configure button on CMake, which will tell VC package to go. It'll be completely wrong, but that's okay. But we're going to tell it to go. My cat is back with a vengeance. What are you doing? The garage is open. You have food. Ridiculous. Does anyone else's pet drive them up the wall? Just me. That's fair. Are you back? What do you want, dude? What's going on? What? Come here. What are you doing? Come here. All right. Well, I guess while paint dries, I'll be right back. Um, Ridiculous. Well, be thankful. Be thankful you don't have my cat. He's a twerp. How's it going? All right, what number are we on? We're on 21 of 38. Progress is being made, so that's good. Are you coming back, Reese? Okay. Now I'm just hearing things. What is it compile? Oh, it's compiling the core Qt dependencies. So I'm building Qt without the widgets, just the GUI, networking, threading. So we're going to be using QtQuick and not the desktop widgets to do this. And I suspect it'll go significantly quicker to achieve the same thing than what this currently does, which is still kind of cool. It was a lot of fun. I also figured out why the text looked kind of blurry, so the text should look a little cleaner today. Apparently, and I don't think I actually knew this, but when you load font glyphs for rendering, you give it a font size. In fact, do I have that in here? Is it load font? What was the function? Oh, where did I do this? Source GUI font. Load font from memory. We had to pass in a pixel size. If you don't do that, and if the default is 20, but then you tell it to render the text as size 40, then that's where I was getting that blurriness. So now we have higher resolution text that should be a little cleaner and easier to see. What do we got here? We are still 2138. I think this one and Qt declarative are going to be the ones that take a minute to compile, I think. I probably should have, if I was smart, which I have never, you'll never hear me claim to be smart. Seriously. Probably. But if I was smart, I probably would have thought to had this stuff pre-built before I got on stream. So while we wait, I'm going to do the streamer thing and play Wordle, right? Is that what streamers do? You have to play, I don't even know how to spell Wordle. I'm already in trouble. Except I can play it in my text editor. While we wait. Where are we at? 20, 21 of 38. So, okay. So I always like to try a new word. What do we got? What do we got? Maker. Okay. So just like programming, like breaking down a problem, we want to reduce the possibilities. So now I'm trying to not use the same letters to eliminate other potentials. This won't work because we've already used R. Ooh, what about like, oh no, why do I keep thinking I want to use R? Fowls. Fowls. Oh, look at that. Now we have 4 letters available to us. So we should be able to create this word if we were any good. Women. All right. That went a little quicker than I thought of that. Wordle? Have you never heard of Wordle? This is what all the streamers do, right? So Wordle is you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. You have 6 attempts to try and guess what the word of the day is. It's a New York Times, free to play as long as you allow yourself to see these ads. And the goal is to try and figure out the word before you get to the end. Now, I typically make it to the very end. I think you can also sign up and like have friends and compete with friends to see who guesses it first, that kind of thing. Apparently, I don't know what it's called, but apparently there's a version of Wordle now made by someone else that lets what do you call it? The like Twitch chat. It lets Twitch chat play while like I step away or something like that. Wordle for chat. I don't know anything. Is it Wordle Cup Unlimited Multiplayer Wordle? What is this? The channel is called Wordplay Live. Wordplay Live. that what it's called? Wordplay Live. What's this? Oh, wait, what? Nah, I don't know what that is. What's Wordle Cup? Oh, it looks like you can compete against other people. That's kind of cool. You can create a room. Yeah, I don't know. Let's see where our compilation's at. We are still, oh no, we're still at 21 of 38. Okay. Oh, is my cat back? Oh, what are you doing, dude? What are you doing? Come here. Come on. Come here. Come on. Come here. There, my cat's being a twerp. I tried. He doesn't want to. He doesn't want to be shown off. Whatever. There used to be another game, but it might be under a paywall now. Connections. Play. Now, connections is you have to, and I'm terrible at this. You have to find 4 words that belong to a category. And you have to do that 4 times. And apparently, like, each category is more difficult than the next. So we think haystack, pitchfork, that seems like they belong together, but sometimes that's like a misdirection. Haystack, pitchfork, copper, ocean, cast iron, enamel, hurly burly. I don't know what that is. Nail, dick, Chuck E. Cheese, hair, crowd, flatfoot, million, skin, gumshoe. So I'm thinking like skin, hair, nail, enamel are like, what would that be? Like the cells of a person, or like material of a person? I don't know if that's, or no, it's like what do you call that? Oh my gosh. Like a pedicure type stuff, right? Manicures, I don't even know what you call that. Keeping yourself looking nice. Let's see if that works. Body coverings. All right. I'm not the smartest person, like I said. Cast iron, haystack, hurly burly, pitchfork, dick, Chuck E. Cheese, copper, crowd, gumshoe, ocean, million, flatfoot. Pitchfork. Pitch and a fork, flatfoot, gumshoe. So these are like a word made up of 2 words: pitch and fork, flat and foot, gum and shoe, hay and stack. Let's see if that works. All right, that did not work. That would have been too easy. Crowd, copper, Chuck E. Cheese. So Chuck E. Cheese is it's like a play place, right? Like a gaming store. I don't know what hurly burly is. So what would like copper go with? Copper is a color. Are any of these other things colors? Ocean could technically be a color, right? Ocean blue. I don't know if any of these other things can be a color though. Oh my god, what are you doing, cat? What are you doing? Where are we at in our compilation? Are we there yet? Ooh, we're getting somewhere. We are 30 of 38. We're almost there. Okay, cool. Um, million is a count. It's a number. Pitchfork is made of metal. A cast iron is made of metal. Copper is metal. Is anything else metal? Maybe it's not count, but size. Million is large, ocean is large, a crowd is large. A haystack could be relatively large. Let's try it. How in the world did I get that? I got lucky there. Masses in idioms. Oh, so like finding a needle in a haystack. Two's a crowd. One in a million. Um, what idiom would ocean be? I don't know. All right, so now we've still got this. I don't know what any of this is. Cast iron, pitchfork, flatfoot, gumshoe. So I originally thought it was haystack, but I don't even think I was one away, was I? Let's shuffle a little. This could be like the opposite of, or like this could be a name like Richard. The other thing these could potentially be is like copper snake. None of these else. Oh my gosh, my cat. Hey, I'll be right back. I threw him out in the garage so he'll stop tearing up my rug. All right, where are we at compilation wise? We are 30 of 38 still. All right, so cast iron is used for cooking. There's cheese, fork, burley, copper, gum, shoe, shoe, foot, shoe, flat footed. I don't know what a hurly burly is. I got nothing. I'm going random. Like I said, I am terrible at these. Cast iron's used for cooking. Copper could be a color. It's an it's a metal. It's an element. I I don't know what gumshoe is either. Not even close. I don't know what a hurly burly is. What is a hurly burly? An uproar. I got nothing. Let's see what this was. Old-timey slang for law enforcement. What? It's a copper. Okay, I could have. It's a copper. I get that. I did not know any of these three. Starting with synonyms for throw. So the word cast, chuck, hurl, pitch are synonyms for the word throw. It's a dumb game anyway. I wouldn't bother playing it. All right, where are we at? We are... $30 of 38. 31 of 38. Okay, we're getting there. Slowly but surely, we're getting there. I can probably start to fix my CMake list. Well, not really, because I am going to need... I'm going to need all this. Well, I guess while I'm waiting for this to compile, I can maybe make a little bit of progress on my game. I don't remember what ticket I was on. If I switch to with desktop. There we go. All right. So we have this. I want to open up Firethorn. Oh, it's already open. I already have it open. All right, that is running. Cool. I guess, well, actually, never mind. Let me see what ticket I'm on. We're up to date with Maine. Spawn live missile entities on launch. That's not... Add missile timeout in proximity fuse detonation. Maybe I can do this one. Nope, it has a dependency. Add missile guidance behavior. Spawn live missile. Replace placeholder player fire logic with selected target launch flow. I think I already have that done. Remove fixed ready missile ownership as a... All right, let me take a look at this one. Add selected track state to the player model. Clean up tracks and own references for removed entities. Jesus, I have all kinds of dependencies. Add entity lifecycle transition for a live Wait, didn't I do this? Did I not close this ticket? This is number 76. I thought I did that. Maybe I didn't. Where'd it go? Wait, where did... Oh, I got started on it. It's in progress. I think that's my confusion. So I'm... Okay, I marked it in progress to get started on it. All right, so let's see where I'm at on the Qt compilation. We're almost done. We're 34 of 38. Okay. So I need dead entities transition out of active simulation through a single authoritative code path. I need entities can remain in the dying long enough for presentation logic to observe that state before removal. Systems can skip non-active entities without custom per system guard logic. So that basically means I shouldn't have to always check for if alive, if dying, if dead. Now, the question is, if an entity is dead, if a missile is dead, do I need to keep track of it for the rest of my game? I think for now, the answer is no. And we can always add it back in if we need to. So this is branch number 76. So let's check that out. Uh-oh, did I not make the branch? I did not. Create branch. $76. All right. Now that we're on the branch, we need to dead entities transition out of active simulation 3. Okay, so that I think, what do I do about that? What should I do about that? Model entities. So right now we have a get entities function that returns an array of all of our entities. So the answer or the solution here is we want to return an array of entities that are alive. Dead entities transition out of active simulation through a single authoritative code path. So that single authoritative code path could just be a function to get entities that are alive and to get entities that are dead. I would need to have another dictionary of entities. But then the question is, how do I track when the state of an entity changes so that it can like move between these dictionaries? One solution is a system, right? I literally have a function that iterates every frame, that iterates over all entities. If it's alive, remove, or like if it's dying, remove it from the main list and add it to the new list. But that's not good. So I think what I'm going to do is use a command. We have these commands. We use commands to change state. So we only change state via these commands. So if we're going to have an entity go from alive to dying or dead, that means something had to invoke it. And then when it's time to invoke it, that's going to be a command. So what we can do then is have a command for what? Command. What do we call a command to change the state of an entity's status? Command here's a question. If an entity's health goes to 0, it's dying now, right? So is the command to update the health? And then, or like command apply damage? No, because I want it to be a little more generic than that, because I want other systems in the game to be able to determine something is dying or not. So let's say command kill entity. So this will effectively set, let's see. This will change the status of an entity from alive to dying. And because then what we want to do is give Godot an opportunity to run like an animation while an entity is in its dying phase. And then after its animation, set it to dead. So how do we go from dying to dead? What causes something to die? Command die entity, command entity dying, command entity dead. I'll just call it that. Rename. Let's rename this. Command entity dying. Command entity dead. Okay. So now model entities, we could have extra data models here. But maybe I have it set. Maybe I keep it separate. Maybe I use model entities but give it a different name. Is that what I do? So if that's what I'm going to do, then removing an entity, create entity, we would need an add entity then on this function. Because now we're not creating it, we're just adding it. Add entity, like that. All right, the VS Code stuff is almost done, but now I'm kind of on a roll with the game, so I at least want to get this into place. So we have a model entities. We can add an entity, remove an entity. So that will allow us to transition alive, dying, dead. So command dying. Oh my gosh, I cannot type. Okay, so we need to add to Briarthorn. We have we have model entities. Now we need var model entities dying. And we need model entities dead. We can almost use this model entities dead as a way to manage when we remove nodes from the Godot scene graph. Model entities dying dead. So then command entity dying becomes more like if entity equals null, return. Otherwise, we want to... No, this isn't right. Why is... Okay. Yeah. So we remove our entity from model entities and add it to model entities dying when we give it a command that the entity is dying. And then for command entity dead, we want to do model entities dead. Is there a potential that we just how do we make sure that when an entity is alive, we guarantee in the code base that it gets set to dying and then it gets set to dead? So maybe we check the state. Command entity dying. Assert entity dot stats dot, I don't remember what I called it. I think I called it status, right? Stats dot status. Okay. Assert stats dot status equals alive. Command entity dying. And then in command entity dead, we make sure it's dying. Something like that. Not, I don't know if it's the best solution, but it'll work for now. So in that case, this now becomes, we remove it from model entities dying and add it to model entities dead. Okay. Okay. So what's our ticket at? Dead entities transition out of active simulation through a single authoritative code path. The only way you can now do this is through the commands. So that is a check mark. Entities can remain in dying long enough for presentation logic to observe that state before removal. Dying entities are now in their own separate data model, and they will stay there until something calls a command to set them dead. It's reasonable. Systems can skip non-active entities without custom per system guard logic. So because these commands now remove the entity from model entities, now systems can still iterate over model entities without ever having to check if an entity is alive or not. Check. So I think that's the ticket. Let's see how QT's doing. We are almost there. All right. So that's the ticket. Now, that being said, I still don't know if I actually like command entity. I think what I'm going to do, since we're kind of duplicating here, I'm going to delete this command and I'm going to rename this to command entity status. That way I don't have to do this check. And then what I can do is we get the entity from models. Ooh, what if it's not in the models? It depends now, doesn't it? Okay, so now it's a switch or a match. I don't know how match status. Um command entity status. I don't really need, I only need this if I want to. Is there a scenario where you know what? No, I take that back. I actually think I like see, command entity dead, model entities, get the entity, verify its status is dying. Um, model entities, remove dying. And the reason I'm doing this is I think it'll be easier to maintain multiple commands as I scale this with different states than to keep adding like functions in one file. Command entity dying. Well, that's not right. No. Yes, actually. That should be dying. So we remove it from our entities. We add it to the dying entities. And then in the dead, we want to grab it from our dying entities, verify its status as dying. It should be. Model entities dying, remove it, and then add it to our dead entities. And then we eventually might have a system that every tick is like, hey, this entity is dead, signal that it's dead, clean up any nodes that are in the scene tree, remove them, and then we are good to go. So you think of a missile flying, gone. All right. Except it's yelling at me about something. I don't know what that is. GD format dot reformatted GD lint dot. Okay. Okay, so I think we're good here. That's all this ticket was. It didn't actually add anything to the game itself yet. We're not making use of these yet, but that's okay. This is kind of an intermediate step to get more features in. What's going on here? Build Windows. Oh, no, I don't want that. Let's undo this. Discard. We now have dying and dead entities. That's good. Okay. Implement command to set the entity's status. Easy ticket. I made a bunch of easy tickets in case I had some people who were interested in working with me wanted to hop in and knock them out. They haven't yet, but maybe they will someday. Only time will tell. But if they don't, then I don't have to keep making these tickets. Let's create a pull request. Take a look at my changes real quick just to make sure. Execute. Command entity dead because it's dying. Put it in the dead stack. That makes sense. All that makes sense. That makes sense. Okay. Right, where are we at with Qt? $37 of 38 still. So it's still cooking. Qt is kind of a big framework. Okay. So once that's done, what is next on the docket? Add missile timeout. So what else do I need? Add missile guidance, spawn, remove fix ready, placeholder. Add selected track state to the player model. Clean up tracks and own references for removed entities. Add entity lifecycle transition. I think that, okay, so once this is done, I can work on 77. So got to make sure it passes the pipelines on Linux, Mac, and Windows. All right, while that's running, I'm going to go check on my cat. Be right back. Well, my cat might have gotten outside. I can't find him. Let's see here. We're going to merge this. How's this looking? Still building. So we can start the next ticket, which is 77. which I haven't created yet. What is going on? It's the wrong ticket. There we go. Jeez. That's the wrong ticket. 77. Here we go. Sign to me. Market in progress. Create branch. What am I doing? Okay, we're on 77. So clean up tracks and own references for removed entities. Destroyed entities will otherwise leave stale IDs in track lists and weapon ownership lists, causing null access errors in downstream systems. Right. So I need to come up with a way to make sure that any scene or node that is assigned to an entity, that they get removed. I think the way we do that is a signal. So we have these signals here. So I think whenever whenever an entity is added to the dead model, that's when the nodes get removed. So what is that? So that's a signal, right? So we need a signal for entity added, entity removed. Oh. Definition out of order, global scope. Oh, these do signals get defined first? Okay, so we have entity added, entity removed. So then in track list, we need on track added where we are instantiating a scene. We need to set up a signal, or we need to connect model tracks, track added. So we need on track removed for observer. Oh, wait a minute. This might already be getting handled. When a track is removed, on track removed for observer, we call on track remove, which calls Q free and erase for the nodes that was just removed. So this is already being handled. This is already being handled for tracks, but we need to make sure like something has to cause track remove to occur, right? So you have a radar doing sensor detection. And I think that sensor detection, if it no longer sees an entity in the entity list, it gets removed from the track model. So, okay, so I think this will still eventually be useful. So I'll leave it there. But the real problem is in sensor detection. If we no longer find an entity for our track, we need to remove the track. So how are we doing this? Detect entity. So we are looping through. Okay, so this is an observer. So the observer is looping through all the entities. And then somewhere we need to, oh man, we almost need to like, I wonder if that needs to be a different system. So this system is for adding tracks. We need a system that loops over tracks and verifies an entity, the track's entity still exists. So I'm thinking, what would that be? System sensor detection, system sensor cleanup? Sensor system. Do I just do it here? If model tracks is null. Yeah, I'm already doing this check. So let's try this. Var track equals this. If track is null, add it. Well, that's not going to work because we need no, this isn't going to work. We do need a different system because we're operating on an entirely different data model. Because this system is operating on model entities. We need to operate on tracks. So system sensor detection, we need a system called system track cleanup.gd. So there is a system track motion. We almost need just like a system track that handles all the different states. So I don't know if that's going to work long term or not. So I'll just copy this. We'll call this system track cleanup. This might be subject to change. I don't want to admit. So here we are going to loop over. We don't need any of this. Here we loop over track, data track. So we find the target. If target and it's a live, continue. We don't really need to do that. Command remove track. Ooh. We do need a command to remove tracks. I think that is true. So if the target and it's alive, keep going. Otherwise, create a remove track. Command. Do I have a command remove track? I have command add track. I don't actually know what the track model has in order to remove a track. We remove a track via a track. We get a track via an integer ID, which is what? We create a track and we use the observer ID. That's not right. And then we append the track. So how do we get the track? This would be the observer. Oh, we get the list of tracks from the observer. So tracks don't have IDs themselves. They just have an ID for the target, the observer. I'm going to think on this for a sec, and I'm going to make another lap around my house to see if I can find my cat. Oh, man. No cat. My cat might be gone. That sucks. He's always wanted outside, and he had. I thought there wasn't enough room for him to get under the garage door. I think Trill made an escape tonight. Had garage door open, a crack, but I think he somehow squeezed through. Or. Ugh, lame. What a twerp. Alright. So, For the track model, I can get the track. Tracks. I can get a track via, or I can get a list of tracks. Oh, I can get a track via an observer and a target. Okay. I might be okay. So command remove track is observer and target. So you pass in this information to remove the track. So then here, if a track, okay, yeah, if the target is found and the status is alive, keep going. If it isn't, it's time to remove the track. Is that The Last of Us? Let me check. I just have like I might just be able to show you. Yeah, I can show you. Check it out. Alina Gingertail. She is freaking awesome. She plays covers of video game songs, and you caught on to it. Look at that. The Last of Us theme cover, 2023. That was a good call. I've not actually played Last of Us, but I'm assuming you have if you're able to tell by the music. I like the song. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. Have I made a faux pas? Am I not a gamer if I haven't played The Last of Us? Oh no. Isn't Last of Us PlayStation? So I grew up as a started off as Nintendo. Oh man, I might be dating myself. I got to be careful with my wording. I grew up playing, let's say, an older Nintendo system that may or may not have required a TV to be turned to channel 3 so that the coax cable would send a video signal to that cathode ray TV. And then after that, I played Nintendo 64. And then after or no, that's not true. After Nintendo, I played Sega. How old am I? I am in my 30s. We will just say that I am in my 30s. I am not lying. I am in my 30s. Yeah, let's go with 38 plus plus. I like that. But yeah, so I did Nintendo. What came after Nintendo? I did Sega. After Sega was the 32X system that you drop in. After 32X was N64. Okay, so after Sega 32X, I did Nintendo 64, and then after Nintendo 64, I became an Xbox person. My family, I was still a kid, right? So my family bought me Xbox. We I forget what games we used to play on Xbox, but eventually, through word of mouth, Halo was the big thing, right? And so eventually I got Halo on Xbox, and the rest was kind of history, right? So I did Halo, and I'd have friends over after school, or we'd spend the weekends, and we would just play hours of Halo. We would do a Halo LAN, and I bought one of those like little, actually, wait a minute. One of these, right? A little Netgear Switch. We had one of those, and we would hook up multiple Xboxes, and we would do 4v4 or 8v8, because I think Halo supported up to 16 people, which was crazy back in the day. And so we did that, and then Halo 2 came out with Xbox Live, and so I did that. I did Halo Reach, or Halo 3, did a lot of Halo 3, Halo Reach, and then on Xbox 360, I did Modern Warfare 2, the original one, and Black Ops 2. I played a bunch of other games, but I never did PlayStation, and I couldn't get used to the PlayStation controllers. I thought the Xbox controllers were the greatest form factor ever invented for a video game controller, and I just couldn't like I could never get around to getting used to the PlayStation controller. And so yeah, I've never done Last of Us. I've just I've never done it. Is it on PC? Like the only thing I know about Last of Us is I did watch the first season on what was it, HBO or something like that. I've heard it's a really good game. I just never got to play it. And then I did Xbox One X to play Destiny 2. And then after that I stopped playing consoles altogether. I'm a full-blown PC gamer at this point in my life. Let me check. Last of Us. Oh, yeah, you're right. It has Last of Us Part 1 and Last of Us Part 2 remastered on Steam. And a Last of Us Part 1 upgrade for $70? What? Oh, digital deluxe edition. Okay. Ooh, and people do not like the fact that there is a digital deluxe edition. There's a 10-hour full gameplay walkthrough, 4K 60 FPS PS5 Pro. Oh my gosh. Is this like a whole movie? I can't spoil it if I ever play it someday. Okay, so I think this is correct. Physics process. We loop through our tracks. If it's in our entities and alive, we leave it alone. If it isn't, we remove it. Okay, I like that. Is that all I need to do? Mini documentary. Ooh, the fire. Grounded. Oh, making of. Oh, I bet that's cool. I do like seeing how video games are made. It's always impressive what people are able to come up with to solve problems, especially when you're like constrained. Track lists do not keep orphan target IDs after an entity is removed. I don't track list. Yeah, I don't think that's I think that's true because I think track list will now when a track is removed will remove the node. And I think we can we'll eventually be able to test this. Weapon ownership lists do not keep IDs. Ooh, I don't have a weapon ownership list yet. Keep IDs for entities that have been removed. Repeated spawn and destroy cycles do not accumulate stale references over time. How in the world am I supposed to test that? I don't have... The only way I can test this is by shooting a bunch of missiles, giving them a timeout, and having them remove. But that's a different ticket, so I'll have to address that on another ticket. I think I'm done with this. 77. You've so is okay, so what's let me ask you this. You seem to be very interested in Last of Us. It sounds like it's a I would assume based on like what you're linking me that Last of Us is a highly rated game of yours. Would you consider it one of your top games ever played? What's like your top 5? Let's do this. Let's go 5 for 5. Let's see what our top fives are. I know for sure at least what 2 or 3 of mine are. Hmm. Do I have 5? I'm sure I have 5. Okay. I'm gonna write mine down off screen and then we can compare notes. Yoink. Ooh. What's number 5 for me? Oh no. I think for me it's like the first 4 are the easiest to pick. Because I don't really play one of them anymore. It has to be a game that like these games have to be a game that have significantly impacts my life in some way, for better or worse. Um, I guess it's got to be this then, right? That had a huge impact on my life. Hmm. Which is different than hours played, because if I went hours played, my list would be completely different, I think. What did I put before? Oh, that's actually a really good game too. Crap. Crap. Oh, there's so many good games. Um, Man, a top 5 might be too hard. All right, I wrote 5 down. If you end up sharing me yours, I will share you mine. Okay, so this looks good. I want to remove the track. We have signals. We have a cleanup process. Ooh, I need to actually add that to Briarthorn. System track cleanup. All right, no problems found. All right, I want to. I think I'm done. Implement system to automatically remove tracks when they can no longer be found. I'm definitely going to have to expand on this at some point because I have to assume, well, no. Yeah, I don't know. I'm thinking like distance. Ooh, did I miss some changes? What is this? This formatting? Oh. Ensure or add track cleanup to Briarthorn node. Hello, Sat Styling Goo 5 1. I've dealt with your kind before, and I will continue to deal with them like this. Begone! We don't want your kind here. All right. Let's close browser. What am I doing? What am I doing? I am creating a pull request. Barthorn. Create a pull request. I'm almost out of minutes on my pipeline. don't know how many tickets I worked this month, but I even took a week off. That kind of sucks. Oh wait, I'm working on some other projects too that might be using up my minutes. I didn't think about that. Let's see, create pull request. All right, let's see where the whole QT thing is at. I think it should be done by. Ooh, it failed. That's expected. No, wait a minute. That's not expected at all. Oh, it's a path length error. Windows has a limited character length for its paths. So this is almost certainly too long of a length. We recommend moving VC package to a short path such as C source VC package. I mean, mine's C dev Karen VC package. That's not crazy long. Or using the sub st command. I don't know what that means. So the working directory is really long because of this x64 Windows static MD debug. Okay. I selected the wrong thing. Here we go. Okay, that's still running. I won't feel too bad. I've always had a feeling he wants to be free. He wants to be a free cat. Oh my god, I'm having back spasms. We're talking about age. My back is killing me right now. And all I did was walk today. I walked like a mile and a half. It's like nothing. Ridiculous. What happened here? Why did this? I don't want that. Okay, so that works. So we're gonna merge. And I'm gonna delete the branch. Ooh, I forgot to delete the other branch, but that's fine. All right, where are we at? How many more tickets we got before I can release a demo? I've been thinking about this. I think once I have a demoable piece of code here, I might try and use Godot to export this as like a web app and maybe release the demo on itch.io. That also might be a good way to get feedback. I wonder if I should probably get some audio put into it too. Okay. Qt. So I need to find a way to deal with the path length. So I'm gonna ask AI to do it for me because I know VC package has a command. It's like x dash dash x build trees or something. So I think what I'm gonna do is say, hey, the Qt declarative VC package build is failing due to path length issues. Can we define I think it's going to be like the build trees, right? Can we define the build trees path to exist at what? Workspace slash BT? slash, but that's the issue, right? Slash VC package slash BT. Okay, so now that tracks are getting removed, I wonder if we can implement that missile timeout yet. Spawn live missile entities, add missile timeout. We still need missile guidance behavior on top of existing motion foundations. Spawn live missile entities on launch. Oh, there's so much code that I still need. Replace placeholder fire logic with select target flow, which I think is kind of done. Remove fix ready missile ownership as a fire gate. Replace placeholder player fire logic with selected target launch flow. Add selected track state to the player model. Okay, so I could work on this one next. I wasn't actually planning on working on my game today, but it's kind of turning into a game dev day. What happened here? VC package build trees root is now set to source directory VC package /BT. This will apply to all presets that inherit config VC package, keeping build trees under that significantly shorter than the default path. Okay, so let's try that. Hopefully that's enough. We'll configure again. Let VC package do its thing. And that's going to take a minute to build, so I guess I'm back on developing my game. Oh, that's the wrong one. This is ticket number 80. Assigned to myself. Why does it do that? I was on ticket 80 and it swapped to 95. Ticket 80. Let's put it in progress. Let's create a branch. Okay. We're going to fetch. Oh, wait. I need to be on main. Whoops. Oh. What did I do? Abort. Create GitHub pull request. That's kind of cool. Let's update main. Let's get on ticket 80. Ticket 80. All right, so what do I need to do here? Selection persists when the cursor is moved away manually unless the selected track is removed. If the selected track disappears, selection falls back to a deterministic next state without errors. I actually don't know if I'm handling that second bullet point, but this one, the first bullet point, selection persists when the cursor is moved away manually. What's going on? The design notes distinguish between selected and latched tracks, but the current implementation only has cursor latched to track behavior. Weapon firing and panel highlighting both require explicit selection state. Oh, so kind of like video games where you're going to have a bunch of enemies out in the world. If you're in combat and you want to see what enemies are available, I need to be able to remove the cursor from an enemy, but you would still see the list of enemies. But I don't know if that needs to be different from latching, though. If you're latched, it shows up as being selected. Left right bumper moves it. Latched. We remove latch, then the selection goes away. I think that's okay. That seems reasonable. This might be a no-op. Now, the second bullet, though, if the selected track disappears, Selection falls back to a deterministic next state without error. So right now, the only thing selection is an integer ID. So, and I think that's in cursor motion. What? The cursor's position is equal to the radar track if the ID is not 0. So there is a situation then where the cursor could have an ID, but the track gets removed or is not found. Oh, but we're still checking. So if the track is not found, we set the ID to 0. So I think we're good. This might be a no-op ticket. I like that. That's one less ticket we have to do. All right. I will add comments. This is a no-op. Cursor latching is a selected track. They are one and the same. Also, cursor motion already handles what happens if a track cannot be found due to storing latched target as an integer. Close with comment. All right, so that ticket's done. Perfect. Let's see how Qt's doing. Installing Qt declarative. It is building debug right now. Okay. Cool. All right, so what's next? Make cursor latch updates, add bumper, build the track panel container, replace placeholder player fire logic. Let's go back to my projects here. Because I want to do a missile timeout, add missile timeout. So this is done, main. But to add a missile timeout, we need to do missile guidance behavior, which isn't really true. Spawn live missile entities on launch. Replace placeholder player fire logic. Okay. So we need to replace placeholder player fire logic with selected target launch flow, which I think is also already done. Replace the placeholder weapon fire path with a real firing system. So that's command weapon fire, or command fire weapon. Commands, command fire weapon. So we're already using a shooter and target ID to launch a weapon. So I think that's done. A missile detonates when it enters its configured fuse radius near the target. Ooh, I don't... Oh, wait, this is the wrong ticket again. What is... We're on this one. All right. Pressing the fire input launches a missile at the currently selected target when a valid hostile target exists. Check. Fire input does nothing or gives clear feedback when no valid target is selected. Check. Fired missiles spawn with valid initial position, heading, owner, and target context. Check. Yeah, this is already done. This is a no-op. I don't remember which ticket this was finished in, though. No-op. This was implemented. Oh, man. I don't remember what ticket. It's one of these I did recently. Clean up tracks, owner references, add type combat state data, selected track state to the player model. I think it was like ticket 38. Was it this one? No, this is a no-op. What? Oh, that's ticket 80. No, I meant number 38. Map durable stat into survivability values. Add type to combat state. Add selected track state. Player model, clean. Is this not in the order I completed it? Define typed weapon capability data for missiles and ion cannon. Maybe it was this one, 78. I made a lot of changes on this ticket. So it very well might have been this one. I think it was this one. Command, is there a command? Nothing? Oh well, doesn't matter. I don't have a stakeholder that needs to be able to read my comments in a ticket. So this add missile guidance behavior, spawn live missile, place plate. Okay, so this one's done. No op. This has already been handled. Close with comment. All right. Add missile guidance, spawn a missile, remove fixed ready missile ownership as a fire gate. So what is this? Remove the fixed list of 4 bootstrap missile IDs as the firing gate. Preserve a clean seam for future SMIS backed inventory work. Okay. I think I know what this is. This is number 92. Assigned to myself. Don't know why it does that. 92. Let's move it into progress. Create a branch. All right, so we are now working on number 92. Fetch. Number 92. Okay. So the player can fire repeatedly without being blocked by the current fixed list of 4 bootstrapped missile IDs. Check. I can already do that. I have proof. Unlimited fire does not require pre-creating a bank of missiles. Check. Is this also a no-op? The resulting code still leaves a clean seam for future SMIS work. Check. This might be a no-op. Actually, I bet I can do some cleanup here. Briarthorn. Because I think there's still some missiles that are just being hard-coded right here. So there's 4 guided missiles for the player. Create player entity. Set initial state. So I don't think we need this anymore. So if I launch Briarthorn, whatever my game's called, jeez, not a good sign if the game developer is losing track of the game. Oh, the game doesn't work. That's not good. So what are our errors? Oh my god. All kinds of errors. Entity added is declared but never explicitly used. Ooh, calling me out on my poor code hygiene. This is why we set up Godot to call these out. Too few arguments for get tracks call. Ooh. Right, you need an observer. Uh-oh. I think I'll just do briarthorn.player ID for now. Oh, also, I think I learned a way to reload the project. Reload current project. Okay. Fewer errors. It also doesn't like cannot find member status. Really? Data track. Or no, data entity has a stats field. data stats has a status field. Target is a data entity. Dot stats should be data stats, which is unknown. What? Status. It's right there. What? Cannot find member status. Command entity dead with error, parse error. Why can nothing find member status? It's data entity dot stats dot status. Oh, wait a minute. Status is the enum. Am I not doing that right? What the heck? I hate programming. Programming is dumb. It's the stupidest thing ever invented. I'm going to delete the Godot cache. Maybe that's the issue. And then reopen Godot and see if the problem goes away. I don't know how, but more errors popped up. Holy moly. Let's do another project reload. All right. I try. Oh, wait. That's the issue. Type enums. I think that is true. I don't think it's a part of type enums. It's a part of type status. Where am I doing this? Command. Oh my god. It's not type enums. It's data stats status.alive. There we go. Okay. If I run this. Oh my gosh. Command remove track. Who's calling that? Too many arguments for remove track. Expect what? Oh, I have to call get track to call remove track. How do I go back? Is there a back button? Does Godot have a back button? Are you serious? I hate Godot. I hate it. I want to go back. All right. So this needs to actually be bt.modelTracks.getTrack. So that we can remove the track. Okay. Continue. All right, there we go. All right, we're running now. Why did I need to run? I forgot what I was working on. I needed the resulting code still leaves a clean seam. Okay, yeah, I just wanted to make sure removing those missiles, we were still good. Okay. So let's do a GD format, GD lint. All that's good. What did I... Oh, apparently I didn't have UID files for a lot of these. Model entities. Okay. Fix error, fix runtime errors, remove hard-coded missiles from player. Commit. Sync. Okay. Okay. So I think that's all we needed to do here. All right. How's QT doing? This is being a pain in the butt. Oh my gosh, it is still failing to build. There's no freaking way. The issue is the fact that wait, it's still doing build trees. This is turning into a miserable evening. My cat runs away. The project I wanted to do can't do it because the code won't compile. At least I'm making progress on my video game. think I think I didn't realize it was already this late. So I think if this passes, I'm gonna call it here and maybe be a little more prepared for tomorrow. And maybe my cat will return and I won't be so stressed out. How is this looking? All right, that is good. Good and merged. All right, so I can't say I didn't accomplish anything. I think I managed to close what, 3 or 4 more tickets? 1, 2, what all did I do today? 1, 2, oh, where is it? Right here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Dang, I think I did 6 or 7 actually. Nice. All right, I guess that's better than nothing. I'm gonna have to spend time tomorrow probably, see if I can get this figured out because I do want to try and build this Twitch chat app myself, just because I'm curious to learn how to speak to the Twitch APIs. I just thought it would be interesting to do it with Qt, show off some of my expertise and experience with Qt as well. But right now I'm running into Windows path issues due to the triplets I'm using. So that's being a pain in a thorn in my side, let's say. All right, so I am going to end it here. For those who stopped by, I appreciate you, and I will catch you next time.